Welcome back to the news at 10. Now to politics. A group of political parties that participated in the 2019 elections have criticized the post-election reports released recently by the European Union Election Observer Mission. The group, which claimed to have 60 political parties and their presidential candidates as members, scores INEC high on performance, but wants the Commission to work out new modalities to correct the few grey areas recorded during the polls.
Leaders of the Forum of Presidential Candidates arrive in the venue for the press briefing to review the 2019 general election in Abuja. The group, which claims it has over 60 political parties as its members, applauds the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for its performance at the 2019 general elections.
The main reason for this press briefing is no any other than to defend the integrity of the election that produced Muhammadu Buhari for a second term.
Having gathered as presidential candidate and political party leaders, we thoroughly x-rayed the 2019 election, the unfavorable and hostile environment the election management body operated under, and the extant law under which the elections were conducted, have come to the emphatic conclusion that the INEC performed creditably well. Therefore, the report of the European Union Election Observation Mission released over a week ago, wherein they allege a lack of transparency in the guidelines of election, is bewildering.
This commendation is coming about a week after reports by the European Union Election Observer Mission and other international observer groups severely criticized the performance of INEC at the 2019 polls. Apart from applauding INEC, however, the Forum of Presidential Candidates is also asking the 9th Assembly to make necessary amendments to the electoral laws before the 2023 general elections.
We would like to urge the 9th National Assembly to revisit the electoral bill passed by the 8th National Assembly and resent to the President. The electoral bill amendment will hugely improve our electoral system and its process. And at this junction, we call on the 9th National Assembly that they should look at the bill proposed for electoral offense.
This Forum of Presidential Candidates was one of those groups who endorsed President Buhari prior to the conduct of the 2019 presidential election.
Nigeria today joined the rest of the world to celebrate the Day of the Seafarer. It's the day set aside by the International Maritime Organization to recognize the important contributions made by seafarers to international seaborne trade, world economy and the society. At an event in Lagos, players in the maritime industry emphasized the need for training and empowering women to improve their participation in seafaring activities.
Representing the First Lady of Nigeria is the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dolapo Oshibajo, who arrives to signal the commencement of the event to mark the 2019 Day of the Seafarer. Also in attendance are key players in the transport and maritime industry, top government officials, as well as seafarers. The theme of gender equality provides an opportunity to highlight opportunities for women in a wide range of maritime careers, with focus on seafarers.
This is with the intention of not only highlighting and appreciating the contributions that they are already making in the industry, but also to encourage more women to take up careers in seafaring and in other subsectors of the maritime industry. In addition to the 304 female cadets who have trained in seafaring since the inception of the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, greater attention will now be given to the training of female seafarers in specialized courses and areas to enable them to take up professional responsibilities in specialized vessels and offshore operations and maritime sector generally.
Besides gender, culture is believed to be one of the challenges faced as buyers in seafaring. The guest speaker proffers solutions to gender and multicultural crewing.
Sensitization of people in the industry on the topic of gender and multicultural crewing is very important. Continuous learning and development of soft skills, career advice in our schools like we did yesterday to build our human capital, training and competency development are also very essential.
Republic of Nigeria.
The wife of the vice president comes with a goodwill message for those actively involved in bridging gender gap in the maritime industry.
I must not fail to commend the indigenous shipping companies that have adopted as a policy fair and equal government employment opportunities already for both men and women. But one thing is clear, and there's no confusion. We are all on board with gender equality.
One of the highlights of the celebration is the recognition of organizations that are doing so well in employing Nigerian seafarers.
The first of its kind smart housing estate, known as Oak Place, is being put in place in Lagos by Oak Homes, a premier real estate development company. A ceremony to unveil the various luxury apartments designed to stand the test of time and meet the luxury needs of consumers was held in Ikoyi, Lagos. At the event, the chief executive officer of the company, Olukayode Olusonya, emphasized the company's resolve to bring values to customers.
Attention to detail, fantastic locations, interactive space and affordability all seem to converge when Oak Homes Limited drives a building project. At this gathering, the company intends to showcase 4 more projects from their shelf. The board advisor prepares the ground for takeoff.
I wish this was a case where we could get on a bus and do a tour. You know, you think in some of them you think you're in Dubai or so. Even here, I feel like I'm in Dubai. So you can be rest assured, its prices are good, and there's time to pay. That's the other good thing about it.
The Lagos State government is also well represented.
I appreciate and congratulate you on the success of today's launch of the smart housing development.
Instead of aluminium steel, we use stainless steel, the BOP, everything you have in here there's nothing cheap on that building.
The Chief Executive Officer, Oak Homes Limited, Olukayode Olusonya, gives further insight into what's on offer, including Oak Place, a first-of-its-kind smart estate in Nigeria.
Our design is such that we don't intend for you to feel like you're in Nigeria, even though you're in Nigeria, because everything is automated. The doors, the blinds, the lights, security, everything is controlled by technology.
Now it's time for the unveiling.
I've visited the sites. I've seen what they are doing. I especially like the fact that he's introducing the smart home innovation, which is the first for residential apartments in Nigeria. And I look forward to having that luxury as well.
We call it affordable luxury in the sense that for the same categories of build, other developers will offer it to you more expensively, but we try to make ours more affordable.
For those keen on taking luxury to the next level, the door seems wide open with the Oak Muse, Oak Residence, Killers 2 and Oak Place there for the taking.
All right, for some more business news, here's Anne Waudu.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria sees addressing environmental issues as contributing to economic growth. It has now developed a national plan to involve every industry in the country, and that's according to the immediate past Finance Minister, Zainab Ahmed. Mrs. Ahmed, who made this known in an interview with Channels Television, highlights some key points of discussions at the inaugural Bloomberg Emerging and Frontier Forum in London.
I participated in a panel that was discussing about sustainable financing for development, and with special focus on emerging economies like Nigeria. Basically, it's about being able to ensure that we take into account environmental and social governance when we are making investment decisions, and also on the part of government to make sure that we raise adequate financing for environmentally friendly projects. In Nigeria, we have already been able to float and issue 2 green bonds. The first, it was in December 2017, and then the last one about 2 weeks ago. So this means we are aware of what our responsibility is as government. The green bonds are issued to fund projects that are in the national budgets, projects relating to water, power, as well as the environment, and also some projects in health.
In the meantime, Mr. Zainab Ahmed says Nigeria will increase the rate of value-added tax to 7.5%, coming from the current 5% it is, and that will happen in 2020. The former minister, whose tenure ended with President Buhari's first term on May the 29th, said the main preoccupation while in office was how to raise government revenue with only 55% of targets being met. President Buhari, who was re-elected for a second 4-year term, is yet to constitute a new cabinet as Africa's biggest oil producer seeks to shore up falling revenue. Latest Purchasing Managers Index, which was released by the Central Bank of Nigeria, shows that the reading was slowing to 57.4 points in the month of June, down from 57.8 points expansion recorded in the month of May. And that's according to data from the CBN. 12 out of 14 subsectors surveyed reported growth within the month under review. A further breakdown of the report shows that the production level index for the manufacturing PMI grew for 28 consecutive months to 59.3 points this month. Meanwhile, composite PMI for the non-manufacturing sector stood at 58.6 points, indicating an expansion for the 26th consecutive month. Stock market sentiments remain negative 2 days into the final trading week of June as investors intensify profit taking in bellwether stocks. Edidiong Iwang has the details for us.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. It's another lackluster session at the local bourse on Tuesday, with the all-share index shedding 0.47% and the equity cap nearing the 12 trillion naira mark as investors book profits on bellwether stocks such as Forte Oil, Seplat and GT Bank. Now look at this. 4 of the sectors we track closed the day in the red, with the oil and gas taking the heaviest hit down 2.31%, no thanks to the losses from Forte Oil and Seplat. Next in the trail of losses are the insurance and banking counters, which lost 2.06 and 0.93% each. Now, just like in Monday's session, lenders topped the list of the most traded stocks as 49.98 million shares of GT Bank and 21.66 million shares of Zenith Bank were traded. Meanwhile, total turnover of transactions for the day were lower as 246.75 million shares worth 4.01 billion naira changed hands in over 3,700 deals. Sovereign Trust Insurance leads a pack of 14 gainers with a 9.52% gain, while Forte Oil fell the most out of 22 losers, down 9.38%. And that's a summary of the stock market trading activities. I'm Edidiong Iwang.
Thank you, Edidiong. Stock markets in the United States finished today's session in the red, led by a sharp decline in tech giants after comments from top Federal Reserve officials that investors' optimism for potential rate will cut next month. But let's find out how they all traded today. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwaudu. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, coming from our London bureaus around the world in 5 minutes. Do join us again.